YouTube, it's your girl Yona Marie, and today I want to talk a little bit about clapping on beats 2 and 4 instead of clapping on beats 1 and 3. Yona Marie music, create with me. So there's a common positive stereotype going around that black people tend to have more rhythm than other races when it comes to music, when it comes to clapping on beat, when it comes to swaying on beat, especially in settings like a concert, like choir, like a church. We usually tend to have a little bit more internal rhythm than some other races. And I want to talk about it because I've been in many choirs, I've been in many singing settings where the congregation or the audience is singing and swaying, supposed to be clapping on beats 2 and 4, but you hear some straight claps on 1 and 3, or some straight claps on beats that's not even existing, and people swaying all bad. I feel bad for them. A lot of people feel bad because they can't get into the music the way they want, because they fear that they're clapping on the wrong beat, swaying bad, looking like they have no rhythm. And I want to tell you about some opportunities you may find to be able to clap on beat 1 and 3 and not be wrong. So first things first, I want to let you know if you're clapping on beat 1 and 3, you're not technically off beat, because most of the songs you'll be swaying and clapping to will be in 4 for a time measure. That means it'll be 4 beats in the measure. So if you're clapping on 1 and 3, you're not totally off beat. At least you're clapping on a beat that actually makes sense in the music. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all clappable beats, but most of the time you'll hear in pop music, especially in urban music, but in many popular genres across American culture, you'll hear hi-hats or snares actually follow on beat 2 and 4. And that's why you'll hear claps as well from the audience, or sometimes in the instrumentation, that fall on beat 2 and 4. That's just the way that a lot of popular music goes. So whether you're in a gospel church trying to clap and sway to something like glory, glory, hallelujah, you will be singing and clapping on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you might find that some people will be like, glory, glory, hallelujah. Now, does it sound too bad? No, because you're clapping on beats that make sense. 1 and 3 is still one of the major 4 beats in that measure. So you're not off beat. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like you got no rhythm at all because you tend to get to 1 and 3 instead of 2 to 4. It's actually a bit natural to look forward to that first beat because it's the downbeat, and especially in classical music terms, sometimes conductors are actually emphasizing beats 1 and 3. They do 1, 2, 3, 4. And so it's not a problem if you're clapping on 1 and 3. That snare, that snap, that clap, it'll likely fall on 2 and 4. So if you can find that beat, fine. But if you're on 1 and 3, don't feel too bad. Now, if you're on beat 2.5, 4.5, 1.75, you might want to feel that steady pulse of 1, 2, 3, 4 a little better. Get a little bit practice with that. A lot of musicians and instrumentalists, especially drummers, get that natural feel of rhythmic subdivision just pound into their heads over time with practice. So you're not a lost cause if you're not clapping on 2 or 4. And as a matter of fact, you might be on to something, or you might blend well depending on what genre, because some African Caribbean genres, for example like soca, you can get away with 1 and 3 claps pretty well. It will actually sound pretty good to clap on all 4 beats for a lot of Caribbean infused type of genres. So the most important part is that you're feeling the 4 main beats, and that is the steady beat that is driving the whole song. Now, I don't want to confuse you too much, but don't get too married to the idea of 4 beats if you're really getting deep into the music world, because it's not always going to be 4 4-time signatures. Some songs have 3 4-time signature where there's only 3 beats in the measure. You're definitely going to find it a little bit challenging clapping there if you're not comfortable with clapping in a 4/4 measure. So if you wanted to clap the right way with something in 3/4, you might like to clap on beat 2 and 3, like amazing grace, how sweet the sound, because there's no 4th beat to clap on. So again, at the end, it just boils down to feeling all the beats in the measure of a song. Thanks for checking out my video, and you can check out more music tips at YonaMarieMusic.com, and I will see you next time.